chatter and that little chitter chatter, that's squirrels. They're chatting back and forth. I don't know if the camera's picking it up. This is definitely the most squirrels I've ever heard at one time in these woods. I'm excited. Might get a good bit today. Currently waiting on the squirrels to wake up. Got one in my bag already. Oh, goodness. Walk around a little bit. I saw a deer move through here, go over there, right to those. Well, it's not really a bald spot, but you can kind of see through there where it's a little less brushy. That's where I saw the deer move to. Heard it come through the woods. You'd think there was a herd of elephants coming through here. Key to squirrel hunting is move, stop, listen. You don't hear or see anything, move again. Stop, listen. Move, stop, listen. Just repeat that. Already got one in the bag. Ta-da. Put this buddy back. Right. Stop and listen. Watching. I'm looking for anything in the trees that looks abnormal. There's no wind blowing, so if I see a branch moving or bouncing up and down, then I know that's either a squirrel or it's a bird. 9 times out of 10, it's going to be a squirrel because a bird's just going to land softly. A squirrel's going to make the limb bounce. I'm also looking for leaves falling, acorns falling, just stuff that's abnormal that wouldn't be happening on its own. Sure is peaceful out here. Nothing but the birds and the squirrels barking. I love it. Wouldn't trade times like this for nothing. Tell you what. Because I'm out here, I always like to reflect on God's creation. All of this is here because of a wonderful, loving, caring God. He gave us this ability to hunt, to gather. And I do believe, without a shadow of a doubt, that hunting and gathering are God-given rights. And if you're able to, you should do it. Provide for your family. I'm not married, I don't have kids, nothing like that, but if I can help provide for my mom and dad and my brother and my sister, then I'm more than happy to do that. I can't tell if that's a squirrel chittering or if that's some kind of bird. I'm still kind of... There's a crow. I'm still pretty new to my bird calls. Well, even if I don't kill more than one, at least I got one. There should be plenty to make some jambalaya with. Gotta give me 4 legs and some back meat. Not too bad. Heard some stuff falling in this area from one of these trees. Okie dokie. Even if I don't kill another squirrel, I still have one, and that'll make me a catch, clean, and cook video, or I guess kill, clean, and cook. Oh, that was a bird. Alright, I'm gonna move again. Let's go around this way. I try to make as little noise as possible, can't you tell? That don't really matter to me, not when I'm squirrel hunting. squirrels are used to the sound of the woods. They're used to things walking around. What they're not used to is my loud voice. So this is a good spot. Pretty open. Anyway, I'm gonna hush it with all the loud talking and just try to whisper. So I don't know if the camera's gonna pick it up, but we'll see. I'm on the game trail right now. That's what I'm talking about. Did y'all hear that? Sounds like one's trying to crack open a nut or an acre. Where are you? Boy, what a beautiful, beautiful sight this is. Sun just peeking through the trees. Absolutely love it. Oh man. Wow. Look at that. It doesn't take much to be reminded of God's beauty and His grace. There's the deer. Did y'all see that deer? That's the second or third one I've seen this morning. That's a good sign. I got a food plot planted somewhere up there. Oh, I guess I'm pretty close to it. Like I said, I'm on a game trail. I don't know if y'all can see it, but all this. You especially see it going up through here, back up there. It was a cold one this morning, folks. It was 42 degrees when I got out here this morning. Oh, that's a squirrel. We're gonna go for it. Sounds like he's in somewhere over this area. It's just so beautiful back here in the early morning. I love it. God, I love you. Thank you for this. Set the gun down, just wait. Sit and watch. I can't tell if it, no, that's definitely a squirrel. Keep it going. Make our way up there. It's right up there. That's a bird. Oh my gosh. I'm an idiot. No wonder I don't kill more than one squirrel. Jeez Louise. Alright, in my defense, that really looked a lot like a squirrel. And I forgot my glasses. Yeah, let's just go with that. There's something moving around right up through there. Could be a deer, could be a hog, could be an armadillo, could be a number of things. Lobby. They ain't moving like they were this morning. Change positions again. The truck is all the way back that way. I got a nice little rock ahead of me. Oh. I guess it's about 8 o'clock. Time for me to start making my way back to the truck. What was that? come to another clearing, I'll stop. That's upsetting. I just wish I could kill more than one. I'm gonna fall in that hole. Good Lord. Ow. The hog's been tearing this up down there. Kind of sounds like a mixture of a bird and a squirrel. Well, folks, it looks like we just got one squirrel today. That's all right. That's still plenty to make a good thing of jambalaya with. So we're gonna do that. Jambalaya, squirrel and smoked sausage jambalaya. Maybe I might add in some chicken just to put some more protein in it. But yeah, I think we'll make us a nice little jambalaya with this. Eventually, I want to do a rabbit kill, clean, and cook as well, because rabbit jambalaya is really good. Put it in a gumbo or dumplings. Squirrel dumplings are real good. I'm in the mood for jambalaya, so ow. I think I'll make jambalaya. Anyway, back at our old hunting cabin. It's a shame we didn't get to finish that. That's all right. Oh, goodness. One last look. Right? Just one last time before we hit the truck. Well, like I've been saying, one squirrel's better than none. I thank God for the one I did get. And thank God for this beautiful creation. Wow. All right. Set them up and move them out. Keys are in the truck. We're good to go. Oh, squirrel. Squirrel legs, more specifically. You might be asking yourself, well, how do you cook squirrel? How do you cook game meat in general? Well, little pieces of meat like this, which, like I said, are just the legs of the squirrel, they make good gumbo or jambalaya meat. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna make a jambalaya. So let's get started. All right, so first things first is I'm gonna put down my very expensive china. And on that, I'm going to put the squirrel legs and pat them dry with a paper towel. All right, we got about 8 legs in there total. Oh no, blood. That's part of dealing with wild game. All right, and there's our legs. Like I said, I'm just gonna pat them dry. I'm gonna get a lot of that excess moisture and blood off of there. It is blood. I don't know why I did air quotes. Just take a look at this under the light. I mean, that is just, it's a really good looking piece of meat. Now, up close, you might can see there's little hairs on there that's left over from skinning the squirrel. So I'm just gonna take a butane torch and burn all those hairs off. I'm gonna do this over here under the stove because I cannot see this thing. All right, I think I got it for the most part. Now I'm going to wash them, get that excess hair off, and then we'll start the cooking process. As part's always fun. Look, it's like a little chicken wing. See that? If you're afraid to eat game meat, there ain't nothing wrong with it. Start with something more, I don't know if I'd necessarily say mild, but better would be venison or deer meat. That's it's really good, easy to cook, and it's not as gamey for those who don't like gamey meat. But if you're eating wild game, you're gonna be eating gamey meat. All right, it's just that simple. We got two kinds of squirrel around here that I know of, and that's fox squirrels, cat squirrels. At least that's what I called them growing up. They're gray squirrels and then these little orange looking squirrels. I always grew up understanding that the orange squirrels, the bigger ones, they weren't as good to eat. But I think I got two of the orange squirrels and two of the little gray squirrels, so I don't think it's gonna be that much of a difference, to be honest with you. I'm just trying to get as much of that hair off as possible so I don't have to worry about eating it in the jambalaya. This is one of the boring parts of cooking game, is just, you know, making sure it's clean after you skin it and get it prepared. So I am going to move on to the next video. Also, remember to wash your hands. I shouldn't have to say that, but when you're dealing with any raw meat, always wash your hands. Where's my soap? Oh, thought I wasn't gonna get to wash my hands for a second there. All right, so when you're cooking anything with a Cajun origin, you usually want to get what's called the Trinity, which is bell pepper, onion, and celery. Walmart was for some reason out of celery, so I'm not doing the Holy Trinity, I'm doing the Holy Duo. So we'll make do with it. Usually I have extra celery on hand, but I didn't today. That's okay, like I said. This dish doesn't necessarily need it. Yeah, we'll get these chopped up and move on to the next part. All right, got the veggie all chopped up. Squirrel legs are over here drying out. Now I'm gonna move them from this paper plate over to this bowl here. I'm gonna get them seasoned up. All right. First things first, before we start seasoning, we're gonna coat it in a little bit of oil. It can be vegetable or canola. Doesn't really matter. We just need something that'll help that seasoning stick. All right. Should be good. The base to a good Cajun seasoning is simple, easy, very tasty. Cayenne pepper, garlic powder, onion powder, paprika, black pepper. I don't have it with me, but salt. And that's about it. Or you can use just regular store-bought Cajun seasoning, but I prefer just making it with all this other stuff. All right, and all I'm gonna do with this is just equal parts, everything. Except the salt, I might go a little less salt because I'm gonna cook these in some andouille sausage grease, and that's gonna be pretty salty by itself. So I don't want it to get too salty, so I'm gonna do equal parts everything and just a tiny bit of salt. All right, first thing with the cayenne. This is really hard with one hand. Hang on, I'm gonna switch hands. There we go. Okay. Get them mixed up. Get them all flipped over and hit it with some more. All right. Next on the list, paprika. That's gonna give it a smoky flavor. It's also gonna give it some nice color. All right, hit the other side with the paprika. It would all stop clumping together, that'd be great. All right, paprika in. Next up, we got garlic powder. I go heavy on this now. I like some garlic powder. All right, mix that up. Whew, almost out. Hit the other side. All right. Next up, onion powder. I like to go pretty heavy with the onion powder as well. Next up, black pepper. A little heavy on this too. Hit the other side. I'm not gonna do as much on the other side just because I coated the top side pretty good. All right, last and certainly not least, table salt. Like I said, I'm only gonna go a little bit since the andouille. I cut the video off, but what I was saying was I'm only gonna go a little bit on the salt since the andouille is gonna be pretty salty, and I'm cooking this in the andouille grease. Andouille? Andouille? What do we feel about that? Let's bring this over, get that in the light. That's flavor, people. You see that? All right, I forgot a pretty crucial part of this whole process, and that's Lordy, chopping up the andouille. What's that one guy who cooks says that you ain't sneezing, you ain't seasoned, baby. Usually I like to use Savoy's andouille sausage, but they didn't have any at Walmart today, so I don't know what it tastes like, never had it, but we're gonna give it a go. All right, this is now all chopped up. We're gonna get this in the pan ASAP. All right, here we go. We got a fairly decent sized Dutch oven. I'm gonna turn that heat on about medium-ish. Come over here, grab this here vegetable oil. Just gonna put a little dab of it down in there. Just enough. All right. We're gonna let that vegetable oil heat up for a few minutes, and we're gonna put that andouille in there. All right, I went ahead and turned the heat up to about medium-high just to get that a little hotter quicker. Once it gets to temperature and these sausages get to popping and sizzling, I'll turn it back down to about medium. And all we're trying to do with a sausage is just round it down. We're not gonna cook it all the way through because it'll finish cooking in the jambalaya. Same goes with the squirrel. We're gonna wanna cook it just a little bit longer just in case. But nonetheless, the process is still the same. We're just gonna mainly brown it, get it cooked on the inside a little bit, and let it finish cooking in the jambalaya. All right, let's test that oil. Yep. All right. Ooh, y'all see that grease pop? Over here, get my trusty little spatula. Make sure all of it gets coated in that oil pretty good. All right, so this browning that you see, that's what we're looking for. It doesn't all have to be brown, just as long as the majority of it's browning up, we're doing the right thing. All right, that's pretty much browned up as much as I want it to be, so I'm gonna scoop it out, put it in a bowl, get that squirrel going. All right, we see all that. That is flavor that's just gonna enhance the squirrel even more. All right, I'm gonna put these in one at a time. I'm assuming they won't take too long to cook. They are pretty small. But like I said, I'm not trying to cook them all the way through, so. And there we go. Look at that. All right, we're gonna get these turned over. It's been about 2 minutes. Oh yeah. Gotta say, that's looking good. I'll only give these about 2 minutes as well. I'm gonna go ahead and get some of this unsalted butter in there just to add a little bit more fat. Something to deglaze the bottom of the pan with. Yeah, that's what we're looking for. All right. These got about 1 more minute, and then I'm gonna put in the, where'd that train of thought go? I'm gonna put the onions and bell pepper in after these are done. Woo-wee, look at that. All right, it's been a minute. Now these are gonna go in their own separate bowl. I'll just look at that. You ever think a tree wrap would look that good? Now these go in. Stir these quick. We want to sop up all that good flavor and juices in there. Stir. Look at them veggies getting nice and brown. After this, we're going to put in some chicken stock, some washers, this stuff, and then we're going to add in the rice as well. Let that all come to a simmer, and then we'll add back in the squirrel and the sausage. All right, now it's going to go in our rice. Get that all mixed around in there. We want it to absorb all that flavor. Yeah, just like that. 3 cups of chicken stock, which is going to be the majority of this here. This a little bit, that should be good. All right, make sure you scrape the sides, get all that off of there. Incorporate everything. Want it all in there. Dab of this in there. Alright. I don't know how to pronounce that. Mix that around. Now I'm just going to take some of this Cajun seasoning here that's already made up. Put a little dab of it in there. It's all floating on top there. We gotta get it mixed in, you know? Woo-wee. It's gonna be some good eating. Ow. I just wrecked my head on this thing. Good Lord. Last thing I'm gonna add in there is a little touch of some ground black pepper. There we go. Once I get that pepper mix up in there, everything is well incorporated, I'm going to turn the heat back up to high, let it simmer for about 5 minutes. I'm going to add in this squirrel and that sausage over there. And I'm going to turn the heat down to about medium low, and let it cook for about 30 minutes. I almost forgot something very crucial. Garlic. Can't have too much garlic, right? All right, that's good. All right, now that everything's incorporated, we got all the ingredients together. I'm gonna go ahead and turn this back about on high. Might as well be. I'm gonna let that go for a few minutes. I'd say between 3 and 5. I just want it kind of not boiling, but simmering. That's when I'm gonna add in the squirrel and the sausage. Actually, you know what? I'm just gonna add it in now. You know, who cares? Why not? I'm gonna give me a piece of that. Pretty good. Ain't as good as Savoy's, but it's good. Sausage is in. Next, we got them limb rats. Squirrels in. Make sure you get all them juices in there too. Woo! I got some dishes to do. Alright, look how pretty that is. You can already see that stuff starting to boil, but we want it to a full boil or full simmer. Now, I don't want just the edges simmering, I want everything simmering. Look at that. This is going to be some good food, y'all. Alright, we can finally see a little bit of bubbles kind of popping through the center there. Alright, this is pretty much where we want it. The middle area is still simmering. Not as much as the sides, but it's going about how I want it. So we'll give this about 3 minutes, and then we're going to turn the heat to medium low and let it simmer for 30 minutes. Alright, I forgot to record right after it started boiling, but it's done. So I just wanted to show everybody what it looks like. That is squirrel and sausage jambalaya, and let me tell you, it looks phenomenal. It smells really good. We got quite a bit of rice stuck to the bottom of this pot, but that's okay. I can't wait to dive into this.